calling Natasha from Nomadic-AF. Today we're going to be talking about how to choose the best destinations as a digital
The
nomad.
best destination for you because it will be different for everybody.
Yeah, for us, we decided Central America and Mexico, and even some parts of South America were really good for us, just as far as
It's easy
everything.
to get around. It's close to home. We can speak Spanish. I
Yeah,
mean, for us, that was a good choice, but it
yeah,
might be different for you.
all depends on what you want.
Yep.
Let's check
So
it
let's
out.
check out how to choose the perfect destination for your digital nomad journey.
Yeah. Okay, so before you decide on what destination is best for you, you got to decide what you want. So you're going to have to take some big decisions like climate, what you want your daily routine to look like,
Cost of living.
cost of living, safety, all of that.
Yeah.
Uh,
The type of lifestyle too. Like, do you want to be a beach bum? Do you want to live in the mountains? Do you want to
yeah.
live in the big city or small town
Do you
or
want to have
immerse?
a fireplace?
Yeah. I mean, these are the big overall decisions you need to make before you narrow it down to a specific place. So we'll talk about climate first. Like when we
Yeah.
first started this, we wanted to be beach bums.
Yeah, we left in like December 1st, so we were it was cold in Ohio, so we decided we wanted to just lounge on the beach and do nothing. So we chose San Juan del Sur to start.
Right. But now that we're into it and we've done it for so many years, we've found out we're not beach bums. We like the mountain life
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
So just kind of decide for your initial destination what kind of climate you're looking for. Hot, cool, rainy, always sunny, perpetual springtime.
And remember too, your initial destination can easily be changed once you get tired of it. So this is just your first idea of what you want.
Yeah. So overall, do that first. Pick the big things you're interested in, beach or
Yeah.
city living or whatever, and then
Yeah.
you can narrow it down further from there.
Yeah. Have decided what it is you kind of want, it's starting to be time to narrow it down a little bit more. For example, you're going to have to look at visa requirements, language barriers, whether you speak the language or not.
Or if you can get by without, because a lot of countries maybe you can't.
Yeah, like Mexico, a lot of the time you can get away with just English only. I mean,
Depending on where you live.
Depending on where you live, yeah.
Are you interested in the food and culture? You know what I mean? Even though you want the beach life, I mean, that could be vastly different depending on where you go, what country you decide on. So you need to figure out, is the food, the culture, are these things very important to you?
Yeah, exactly. And proximity to airport as well. So proximity to activities, because you could be on a beach and not have anything near you for 3 hours a drive or something.
We
Do
have.
you want that, or do you want to be close to hospitals, and do you want a town that's going to be close to a movie theater and ruins and activities and nightlife? So that's also something you have to kind of decide.
Right. And what else you're going to want to narrow down are the time zones. Like, are you working
Yes.
for a company? Do you need to be in their time zone or close to it? I mean, that's a big
Yeah.
factor.
If you're European and moving to
Mexico.
Mexico,
That might be a problem.
It might not work, yeah.
And the cost of flights. I mean, for us, that was really the overall deciding factor. We found $100 flights out of the States and
Yeah,
took it.
and also flights for if you have an emergency to go home too,
Yep,
what the
yep.
average is. Because if you live in the United States and you're going to Thailand, flights are pretty freaking expensive.
They're expensive and they're long. So if you need to get somewhere, I mean, it could be 2 days before you get home.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is all good. Definitely worth consideration. The third step is going to be just trying it out.
I mean, you're going to be a digital nomad. You're going to be moving so many times. It's ridiculous. So many cities, countries, states, depending on where you're living, whatever they call the.
Yeah, and the internet always doesn't give you all the information you need. So once you have your feet on the ground, you could either love it or hate it, or you could love it or hate it a month after you arrive. So.
Well, the thing is, you just try it out because you don't know if it's for you until you're there. And if it
Right.
sucks and you hate it, don't get discouraged. There are 100 other places to go
Yeah.
check out.
It's just part of
I
the
mean, it
digital
could even
nomad
be.
life.
It is because we've wound up in some places we have literally hated and left as soon as we could.
Yeah.
And that may be the case, but if that's your first trip, don't get discouraged because that happens all the time.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't just pack it up and go
yeah,
home.
just say this sucks and you're done. I mean, even if you go to the Caribbean coast, you might find Tulum isn't for you,
Right.
but maybe Bacalar is, or maybe
Yeah,
Puerto
exactly.
Morelos.
And
But
all those are a hop, skip, and a jump.
yeah, they're a bus trip. Yeah, so
I think trying it out is a big part of a learning curve, especially as you're starting as a digital nomad, because yeah, you could hate a place or you could love it and want to do something similar but in a totally different location. So just trying it out is a huge, I think.
Yeah, so let's break it down a little bit and see how we normally decide. So we're gonna decide what we want. Like before we came here, we came to Mazatlan because basically we pretty much had to. There was only one flight out of La Paz, and that was to Mazatlan.
Yeah.
Now we are thinking earlier, we wanted to go to change our climate up. It's hot here in the summer. We want to go somewhere cool all summer. So we narrowed it down based on climate, and the lifestyle we wanted was more of a cafe, coffee shop lifestyle as opposed
cafe
to
culture for sure.
hanging out on the beach. So on our first thing we said, what do you want? So now we've narrowed down our climate, kind of what we're looking for, right?
Yeah.
Cost of living, we know we wanted to go to San Cristobal de las Casas, and we know it's one of the cheapest places in Mexico to live.
It's cheap to live, it's safe, it's just walkable, it's just a beautiful like town in general.
Right. So that when we were picking our next destination, we took that in to decide what do we want. We don't want beach anymore. We kind of want a cafe lifestyle.
Yeah, some cooler climate. We went to La Paz and it was 110 some days in the.
It was terrible.
It
yeah,
was
I'm not up for that heat. So now we need to narrow it down a little more. We want the mountain life. We want the cool weather life. We want something that's a little more cost effective because Mazatlan is expensive. Walkable. So let's narrow it down some more. We'll step to number 2 where we narrow it down to more. Visa requirements, we don't really care because it's within the country.
It's within the country. And in Mexico, you get 180 days, which is essentially 6 months.
Yeah,
so,
but be careful.
Yeah.
180 days,
180
not 6 months.
Days, yes, it's not exactly 6 months, and that will matter.
We know the food and culture there because we've been there before and we love it. So these are things you definitely just want to look at because if you get somewhere where you can't handle the food or don't like the food, what are you going to do? Unless you have your own apartment and cooking area, you're
cook
eating
a lot.
Yeah. And we know the cost of flights are cheap. So if you want beach and safety and hot weather, you've narrowed that part down. Just look at the flights, right? Your first destination doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the perfect destination for you.
It's not the end all for sure.
No, you're just trying things out until you find what you like, and that might take, if you get lucky, it could be your first trip, or it could be your 5th, 6th, 7th trip.
Yeah.
But these are all ways to choose the best destination for you as a digital nomad.
Right.
And the last one, once you narrow these things down, you think you know where you're going. Get online and start joining these Facebook groups.
Yeah, absolutely. You can check out Facebook Marketplace, even just to kind of get an idea of what average rentals would be. You could talk to people that actually have their feet on the ground and ask them their cost of living and kind of get a vibe of what the lifestyle will be like when you're there.
Yeah, based on the first 2, the deciding what you want and then narrowing it down, you might narrow it down to say San Cristobal de las, or let's say you narrow it down to San Juan del Sur, which is where we first started.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. You've narrowed it down to there. Now you get online and you start talking to digital nomads that are there and you find out, well, the North Beaches don't have fast Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
The electric is out 10 days a month.
Yeah, or the South Beaches the waves are too intense and not good for kids.
Or you can't swim in it.
Exactly, yeah. If you have a big family and you want to swim in the ocean, you're not going to want to do it on the South Beaches of
San Juan del Sur, not San Cristobal. So even though you're going to narrow it down what you want and you're going to kind of take the climate and everything into factors, you need to start talking to other people who have their feet on the ground because they might narrow it down even more for or against.
And I think if we had done this step on some of our places we went to, it would have saved us a lot of hassle. For example, like one of the first places we went to was Bocas del Toro, and it's so beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous, but if we would have talked to the locals and stuff, we would have known like it's a giant party town, and that's not our vibe.
We were working hard at the time, and just there was nothing to do there that was conducive to work. It was just a party.
It was just party.
And if you want to party, I'd suggest it. It's a great place.
It's gorgeous.
It really is nice, but for us, it wouldn't have worked out. And if we'd have known that ahead of time, we probably wouldn't have gone.
It would have saved us a lot of money and hassle and this, but yeah, it's all a learning curve. So chalk it up to that, and don't let it ruin your digital nomad experience. It's just part of it.
Let's just recap really quick on how to choose the best destination for a digital nomad. First, get the overall picture. Do you want the climate? What kind of lifestyle do you want? The cost of living and the time zones are very important, especially the time zones if you're remote working.
That's huge.
Narrow it down from there. Do the visas allow you to stay for as long as you want? First of all, check the visa requirements. Yeah, border runs suck. The language barriers, if you can speak some language, great. If not, but narrow it down based on the flights, costs, all that stuff. Narrow it down even further.
Food and culture too.
Yeah. And then once you have a couple of cities picked out that you think are really going to work for you, get online and start talking to people.
Yeah, start talking to people, research, and know that it's not the end all if it doesn't work out. So
a lot of places haven't worked out for us. You just pick up and you move. That's what being a digital. That's the nomadic part of a digital.
That's the nomadic part of a digital nomad.
But yeah, don't freak out. If you think you found the perfect place and you get your feet on the ground and it's not for you, you can just up and go. That's what this lifestyle is about.
And another point on that is if you do get your feet on the ground and you absolutely love it, don't go balls out and buy things right away because we have had friends that have bought houses and cars and settled down, and then, they get out of the high season into the low season, for example, and it's not for them anymore, and it's hard to get out. So just take it slow.
Yeah. All right, and those are basically the 3 steps you need to choose the perfect place to be a digital nomad. So it's going to be different for everyone. What's right for somebody may not be right for you.
Yeah.
You may think you want, like us, you want to be a beach bum and live on the beach, and it turns out that's not your jam.
Yeah, you might get itchy feet 2 weeks later and decide to head to the cloud forest.
All right, well, if you have any other questions, just leave them in the comments. We'll answer all of them, and good luck on the nomadic journey.
Yeah,
please.